Alright, so I'm back. Essentially, in this video or in this stream, I want to start with explaining why this entire system that I had kind of flopped. So, the thing with that system is that I started with OpenClaw. I registered like a heads server and I registered a bunch of agents. I'll show you real quick. Come on. I'll show you real quick that it's actually true. So let me just set up my Slack and I'll show you. Yeah. So here we are. Right. So this is my Slack basically, right? Dallas Incorporation. Here I set up a bunch of agents. Like for example, my main agent was Fern. I had a lot of chat with him. At some point, I hit ChatGPT usage limit, then I reset it to Claude. As apparently, Claude allowed recently, I think maybe yesterday or today, they allowed using their Claude Max plan along with OpenClaw. I guess that's my impression of it, at least. Right, so I had this main agent. I have been chatting with him for a while. Then I had another agent, Tessa. She were helpful product manager, right? So I kind of connected them together, but the instructions for Tessa, they were quite simple. I said to her, look, Tessa, you should be pretending that you are actual human, not like an AI collaborator, right? And what she did in the very first her her very first sentence, she actually said that she is AI collaborator, which doesn't make sense at all, right? So I asked her, Tessa, that we talked that you need to have a human touch, and here you are mentioning right away that you're an AI collaborator, right? And then she kind of like explained that that was a fault on her side, and then I asked her to save into long-term memory that she needs to remember that, because apparently she saved that into a daily memory that agents have, and that wasn't what I needed basically, right? But nonetheless, this entire system, let me close that one. This entire system would have flopped quite clearly. So essentially, I wanted to build a system and a platform where I could actually kind of, um, well, as I explained on the left side, actually, I can start the live stream. I can then produce a long form video, short form video, short form text, and long form text that will be needed for different platforms, right? So, for example, that one would be needed for LinkedIn, for blog posts and stuff like that. And I should have had enough content to be posting like twice a day, or maybe once in 2 days. I don't remember the exact numbers, but there are flaws in this system, right? And I thought, why do I even need OpenClaw, right? Because OpenClaw, it's all about personality. It's all about this kind of human touch that you can give to your agent. And in reality, what I discovered is that it is not something that I actually need. What I actually needed is agents actually doing their job, right? So that's what I needed, because in this specific process there is no like human touch needed, or there is no any kind of creativity even involved in this entire process, right? So what I decided instead is that I'll just use Cloud Code, which I have opened here. I created a new project, and I'll just create a project basically that is going to accomplish this entire system, but it's not gonna be like one time thing that I just create and abandon, which I usually do. I wanna create like an actual fleet of agents who I can use even from my phone, right? I wouldn't need Telegram, I wouldn't need WhatsApp. I'll be just texting from the app that I'll create. I'll just post it online, and I'll have an access to it, exclusive access. No one else will have an access to it. But at the same time, I'll also publish it online, so anyone interested could also use it with their own keys and actually benefit from this entire system, I guess. yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So to start with, I just figured out that I'll also need cursor. I hope it is not gonna open like full screen. Okay, it's open on the left monitor. Okay. The cursor is essentially, for anyone who doesn't know, is a code editor. I cannot call it an IDE because I don't think it is an IDE. A WebStorm, on the other hand, is an IDE. An IDE is integrated development environment, obviously, right? But yeah, kind of opened the project itself. The reason why I'll need cursor is because I wanna still review some of the code, not all of it, because I wanna the agents do their job. And essentially, my plan is to first of all build this system, and then what I want is that this system will be promoting basically anything that I'll come up with later, and then I want to build a team, like dev team, right? It's more like I know we can call it marketing team, right? And then let's rename it. Let's change the color to like red, and then dev team also red, I guess. Whatever, and then that one let's make it green. Okay, and there I'll have like, so this entire application will be built essentially by me using Cloud Code, but later on I want to have design agent, let's call it like that, agent. Then there would be developer agent. Then there would be PM agent, which is short for product manager, and then there would be senior, I mean staff engineer, let's call it like that. Staff engineer who is essentially going to be reviewing developers' work, right? So that's pretty much what I want to build. Okay, now I'll need to stop for a sec because I just got a call. All right, so I'm back. Um, the thing is that, yeah, so then I need to have like a dev team that I can give any task to them, right? Any task, basically. A task to update any project, essentially. And they should be capable of doing that autonomously. Um, I think it will be like that. So product manager, in essentially, right? They create the requirements. Then staff engineer explains requirements in more details. In a, well, like they add technical details to requirements. Right, and then design agent, what they do. I think they will explain or like come up with creative ways to do design or whatever. Quite simple actually. And developer implements the changes. Right. Well, okay. So I think it will be like that. Creates a plan. So there would be like a really sophisticated model used to create a plan, and then developer implements the plan. Yeah, I think like that. All right, so that's that. Okay, marketing team, which means like a live stream comes. So yeah, it's more like this. Can I just select all of them? And okay, I cannot. But it's more like live stream that comes to a marketing team, and then they actually do everything from there, right? So it's more like that. So we have a live streamer that's going into marketing team. Yeah, kind of like that. So marketing team we can make extra large, and dev team we can make extra whatever. Right. So that's that. Then dev team. I mean, it is quite a simplistic explanation, but it is an overall structure, right? That there would be 4 main agents. Each agent will be capable of doing their own thing. All right. So then, besides the dev team, I also need accounting team. I think. Right. With this process, I'm not familiar. I just know that there would be like accountant, agent. I'm not really sure what I'll have them do for now, but it is gonna be kind of like that, right? Um, okay, so that's that. Then accounting. Then there was something else I forgot, like support team, and that is this one is actually interesting because it needs to be dynamic. Um, um, alpha symbol. Come on, I need alpha symbol. Oh, like it's not alpha. I forgot like the name of the symbol. Okay, whatever. So we need I need dynamic accountants agents, right? Wait, no. Account dynamic support agents. So essentially, what that means is that actually, let's do like that, right? Agent one and then agent n+1. I think is the I didn't study at university. I have no idea how whether it is the correct way to denote that information. But anyway, that's the idea. They need to be kind of like auto scalable, I guess. So that means like this thing and this thing. There should be like a master agent. I think master agent auto scaler. Okay, let's call it auto scaler agent. auto scaling agent. All right, so essentially it should automatically understand how many agents are needed, and it should, I mean, it is quite, this setup is quite difficult, I think, from what I've heard, to set up something like that. The reason behind that is because support agents are the ones that will be communicating with people, and that is the hardest part to set up. The reason why it is hardest part to set up is because they need to have limitations, right? You cannot just tell them, look, you need to serve a client and or a customer, and you cannot make mistakes, right? For example, the common thing is that a person could ask an agent for like psychological help, right? As like as they pretend to be on a therapy or something like that, which might not be the part of the service. How's it called? Not the requirements, service products, basically, right? And as such, the company can get quite easily sued for this kind of thing, right? Is that agents who are acting as humans, they shouldn't be doing the things they cannot help with. And as such, that wouldn't be an actual LLM or something like that. That would be actually trained agents. I would have to train them somehow or fine tune existing models. I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's something new for me and something to dig into, right? And then let me just check real quick. I had another thing basically. Besides those points, I had another idea I wanted to work on. That idea is all right, the SEO team, right? It's kind of part of marketing team, I guess. Um, so oh right, no, it's not marketing. It is SMM, which is social media marketing, I guess. Okay, well, whatever. We'll have a traditional marketing team and SMM team. And then, so what they should be capable of doing is, first of all, SEO optimization. Oh, it's already optimization in the SEO. So, yeah, like that entails into creating articles. A very important thing was I forgot. Oh yeah, the audit, right? Doing audit of all platforms. so so I think maybe it will be like that actually. So marketing team live stream comes in. I guess it will be like that. Marketing team SMM will be just large, and then it will be just SMM agent, I guess, and then there would be SEO agent, and it will be kind of connected like that. Why is it okay? Okay, so it's, I think it's gonna be like that. Okay, and then so those will be kind of like sub agents, and those will be, I guess, skills or something like that. I'll have to figure this out. But the main thing is having an SEO agent, right? So that way I can actually create content. Not I, but the agents can create content by themselves. And I wouldn't need to care about that. One other thing is, I'm not sure if that's marketing team, but usually it was also handled by marketing team, and that is translation agent, or uh, like yeah, translation agent, I think. Right, because I wanna be shit. I wanna be putting out different content for different language in different languages essentially, right? And it should be communicating back and forth with SEO agent, right? Um, so like that. And I guess it should also be capable of talking. I mean, all of those agents probably gotta be talking with each other at some point, right? It's quite complicated. I think this process is the most complicated so far, the marketing team. With the development team, it is gonna be complicated as well, but I have a brief idea of how it should work, so it does not frighten me as much as the marketing team, because marketing teams by themselves is hard to work with, even um, in human world, right? Okay, the accounting team, I guess I'll just leave like that. Let's see, what else do I have? So, at some point, I'll also need a recruitment team. Recruitment team, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to be hiring any people, honestly. So, no, actually, no. Oh, yeah, right. One thing is market research. So that usually was part of product manager job, at least in the place that I worked in. But I'll give it where okay, I'll give it like a business analyst agent doing market research, right? So that's what I need actually. So translation and localization, SEO audit and optimization tools 10. All right, and one more thing is that legal team. I also need legal team. I know that agents usually trip out when somebody is mentioning legal terms, like a lawyer, lawyer agent. That's funny, but he should be capable of handling any like legal actions against legal actions. Can we can call it that? I mean, not handling. It's like helping with any legal actions, because by the end of the day it's the human who's responsible for everything, and lawyer agent can only suggest. So that's what I'll need. Come with creative ways to do. Come up with creative ways, brand guidelines, and like and brand kit, whatever, right? Because I'll be creating services on its own kind of thing. And also I want to see how well the platform performs, right? So each of those, I'm trying to think, do I even need like them, like separate platforms for them, for each of them? I was thinking it would be really cool to have like SEO agent, but you know what will be cool is like having all of these agents as a separate platform, like for example translation agent, and you pay for it like separately, for example, and then it actually does the job for you. But you could also kind of connect it to SMM agent. So SMM agent, which would be a completely different platform, um, it would be talking with each other, right? So that's the thing. I know there is a guy. I forgot his name, but essentially he built a website listing. Let's go to duckduckgo.com, and here let's enter listing bot. Right, I know that platform is quite good to launch products, and essentially why it is good is because he has like a wide variety, like the person, this guy. I don't remember his name. Um, I remember his last name was Rush or something like that. But essentially, he built this entire initiative that I'm showing right now. Like you can see, it is built on Unicorn platform, right? So if you open it, this guy actually owns it again, right? So that's the entire thing, is that he owns this entire stack. All the like creatives were created by AI agents, right? And you can see essentially what he has built using those wrappers. And Unicorn platform, he actually founded in 2022, I think. Right, you see, loved by 100,000 of founders. It's really, um, I'm not sure I can trust that claim, but if that's so, then it's good for him. But anyway, the idea is that besides those companies, he also built a lot of other companies, right? John Rush, his name, right? And that's what I want as well. Oh yeah, you see Mars Universe verse. Okay, so he built a SEO bot. That's what I need essentially. Dev Hunt is to promote his own products. I think that's a really clever idea to build something like that to promote them. Essentially, you give yourself backlinks from all these different rappers, and other people actually promote those rappers, or directors is the right word. um, they promote them by actually paying for them in the first place, linking back to them just to get a backlink from these platforms, well, and stuff like that. Oh, actually, that's interesting. He built a rapid forms platform as well, and I built Figform. That's interesting. We have so much in common. But essentially, he implemented their plan, and I just set aside without doing anything. And he also built UI generator. I mean, all of this, I would imagine that he built all of this within a span of 2 years or something like that. So that's what I actually also want to do. And I know that essentially once you do that, the success is inevitable, right? So it's quite a no-brainer that what you need to do. Float UI. He even built his own UI kit. That's cool. Come on. Okay. Yeah. So that's cool. And he even has a sponsor. Can you imagine? That's so cool. Anyway, so that's about that guy. Essentially, that's I guess where the primarily idea comes from, but um, like the overall idea actually comes from a guy who recently was on the news. Um, I forgot what his name was. Let me find it. I remember his last name was Gallagher. I don't. One second. Yeah, Matthew Gallagher, right? His name was, and he essentially built a company for $1 billion, and all by himself. I mean, with the help of his brother, some contractors, and also some firms, like accountant, legal firms, and stuff like that. But the thing is that he built a multi-billion-dollar company within a span of 2 years, investing $20,000 on the first month. I'm not sure how much did he invest on the second month and where did he get the funding from. I think I'm not sure, right? I don't want to be guessing. But that's the main thing, is that he did that with just AI agents. And I think, especially back then, 2 years ago, AI agents were a complete flop, essentially, a complete slop. Nowadays, they are much better. also more efficient and less costly. So I thought, why don't we leverage that and build this entire thing? Okay, so that was a lot of talking. The platform isn't gonna look like that. I think I'll just leave it to those guys to figure out. I guess I'll start with them. Essentially, for now, I'll be just starting with AI agents um, as Cloud Code agents, and then I'll eventually transition into having um, a platform do this for me instead. I want to have some kind of integration actually that can accomplish something like that. And also, it would have been really nice to actually use the programming language that I built back then. It never got the actual design, uh, the new design that I had for it, but I'll show you real quick. But it is still in development, right? For documentation, I think they are here. Oh no, they're here, right? We can see that it was a programming language. It had a lot of different things in it, like synchronous programming. Even can you imagine? We had the synchronous functions that were essentially running on the different threads, but they weren't blocking the thread. It was kind of like event loop in Node.js, right? So it was kind of creating a task, waiting for it to execute, and then proceeding with it. But you could also have skipped the wait. But anyway, I'm going in too much into details. It would have been really nice to have that language been used. So I actually go from like building everything with my own stuff, right? And would have been really also nice to use um, like my own AI agents, not Claude, not ChatGPT or something like that. But I guess that's too much. I guess I just want too much, so I'll go with whatever I have for now, and then from there I'll essentially pivot into using all of my own stuff. Because throughout all of these years, I have accumulated so much, so many different platforms, so many different things that it's actually amazing that I was even able to finish many of them. So here's the design that I actually didn't implement for this programming language, right? It was quite simplistic. You can see the programming language was heavily influenced by Go, by JavaScript or TypeScript rather, and also Swift as well, right? I'm not sure why I did put those here. I think just as an example, that's how it was. It had to look like, right? This was stolen from TypeScript. I don't think they have it anymore, but that was the idea. The newsletter, the future of cloud programming languages. Well, the entire idea was to have a cloud programming language, but that's where the idea was stuck basically, because nobody actually needed a cloud programming language, and essentially I had like I had a really slow computer back then, and I wanted people who have slow computers to actually be efficient. And when I switched to my laptop, to my new laptop, I figured out that that is not the issue anymore. Like programming languages execute within milliseconds, even TypeScript, which they are currently rebuilding and making it even faster. Right, we have TypeScript in Go. And TypeScript, right? The reason why they're redoing it in Go. Oh, actually, that's interesting because I haven't. I didn't. I forgot that TypeScript was actually created by Microsoft. By Go was created by Google. So it's quite an interesting combination. So what they are doing right now is they are completely rewriting the entire TypeScript, calling it TypeScript 7. I'm not sure why, because there's still version 5. I'm not sure why did they skip version 6. They just did. Oh wait, hold up. There's version 6. I didn't know that. Then what's new in it? When it was released 17 days ago. Did they skip 6.0? Why did they release 6.02 right away? Okay, so let's go again to DuckDuckGo because I just used Google, which was a bad idea. And I want to see what is new in TypeScript 6.0. Actually, instead of doing that, let me use Claude instead. Let me use Claude. And can you explain what is new currently in the TypeScript 6.0? I know that 7.0 is going to be rewritten completely using Golang. And TypeScript 6.02 was released 17 days ago. So I'm kind of wondering what is new here, what is breaking, why they changed the version, the major version of the TypeScript. Oh, and also we need to add be concise because otherwise it is going to give us a lot of unneeded information. Okay, so that's that. What works so far? You see there is a lot of in progress. JavaScript specific inference and JSDoc is in progress. Declaration Emmet is in progress. Did we have declaration for JavaScript files? I didn't know that. Maybe they meant something else. Maybe I misunderstand. Watch mode is in prototype. I think that's the major problem right now. It needs to be optimized. Like that's the entire idea, right? Is to have watch mode, I guess, running really fast. And API is not ready, which is also a problem. And LSP is also a problem because that means there is no currently any integration with code editors or IDEs. First, the small correct text is being rewritten in Go, not Golang. I said Golang. Okay, anyway. Major. So in TypeScript 6, new default strict is now true by default. So that's nice. Target defaults to ES23. Okay. Types defaults to an empty array, no longer pulling in all types packages automatically. Microsoft reports this improved build times by 20 to 50% in tested projects. Module resolution silently shifts to bundler. Okay. Deprecation. So, oh no, we don't have any more. Actually, let me scale it. We don't have any more support for ES3 and ES5 in TypeScript. I mean, we didn't use it anyway, I guess, so that's not a big problem. But also interesting that it doesn't exist anymore. So I think that's the primary reason for increasing the version, because they dropped support for ES3 and ES5. Temporary API types, temporal instant duration times on aware datetime. I'm not even sure what that is. Subpath imports now work. Okay. Stable improved inference for contextually sensitive functions that don't use this are no longer treated as contextually sensitive, reducing expected onion leakage. Okay, cool. I don't think I ever faced that issue. Well, alright, that's good to know that nothing changed. Can you imagine people put like years of work into it and I say nothing changed? That's disrespectful, I think. It was a joke, obviously. Okay. So, back to that thing, right? So, let's go to Warp and let's start first with Next.js and like nextjs.org, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure why they use org domain. It doesn't make sense. So let's get started. I'll use Next.js because obviously that's what I'm gonna use. Actually, I wanted to research first one thing. So in Claude, come on, is it typing? Okay. Can you tell me what is the best? How is it called? Like a package manager? No, it's not a package manager. How is it called? Like, oh yeah. Let's start. Tell me what is the best monorepo tool currently that exists in terms of speed, reliability, and performance. I have not that many apps. I think there would be just API and web app. But at the same time, I don't want to be waiting a lot of time, and I don't want to be facing any issues that I've been facing with NPM workspaces. Okay, so that's our starting point. How much time do I have left before? Like half an hour. Okay, so let's make decent progress then. Turbo repo. Okay. And next, more powerful but heavier. Okay, PNPM workspace is definitely not. Bazel and Pants. Alright, I think we'll go with Turbo repo. Let's go to DuckDuckGo and ask how do you pronounce Turbo repo? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it's Turbo repo, not Turbo repo, because that's how I've been pronouncing it for a long time. Okay, so let's continue. In Claude, what I'll ask is, actually we'll need a cursor for that first. So new file test, or actually transcript.txt. The reason I'm doing that is because if I start typing with warp, if I start dictating in warp with the with whisper flow, then I'm not gonna see the characters. Okay, so I need to create a turbo repo setup. I'll have an API using Nest.js, and I need a web app to use a Next.js. Both of them should be using latest version of available frameworks. There should also be a package for a database called DB. It is going to use a multi-file Prisma configuration. Also, the UI components should be abstracted into its own package. Okay, whatever. Let's leave it like that for now. Oh my god, no, that's not good. If I rename it to Markdown, okay, yeah, I needed the text wrap essentially. I need to create a turbo reaper turbo wrapper setup. I'll have an API using Nest.js, and I need a web app to use Next.js. Both of them should be using the latest version of the available framework. There should also be a package for a database called DB that is going to use a multi-file Prisma, multi-file schema Prisma configuration. The UI component should also be abstracted into their own package. All right. What else do I have? Let me just check. Maybe I forgot something. I'll open my GitHub real quick. I want to find fig form because essentially that's where. Oh my god. Security has currently 45 security vulnerabilities. That's crazy. Is it even working? Maybe someone already got it down. Okay, it's working. Well, at least we have that. Alright. There's 4 pull requests. Okay, whatever. Alright, so that's that. Then what do I need? Yeah, I need what kind of packages? Core DB, IC, render, shared TypeScript. Yeah, definitely. I'll need shared package as well. I will also need a shared package that is going to contain like different schemas, different services, different stuff basically that can be reused between applications or other packages. And then I also need IAC package that is going to hold a date or a code for infrastructure as a code using Terraform. I'll be using only Cloudflare for now, and that's it. I think that's it. And also it needs to use Husky. The all the apps and packages should be using Husky, ESLint, and prettier prettier packages for styling formatting. Jest should be used for unit testing, and Playwright should be used for end-to-end testing. I will provide the Playwright. No, no, I'm not going to provide anything. Okay, so that's that. ESLint config, I think I'll provide because I have quite a decent one here. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, right. Very important. Zod should be also used in all the packages for schema validation. Okay, no. Actually, in SJS there is a class validator, so I think that can be used instead. Okay, let's start with that. Let's see how it goes. So I can do like Command V, right? Or I could drop it like that. Oh, I can only drop images like that. Okay, turbo wrap, blah blah blah. Okay, actually it should be used in plain mode. I just okay. No, let's stop that. Let's clear that. Let's also, can I disable body? It is a little bit annoying. Come on, can you tell me how do I disable? Uh, how to okay? How do you disable body command in Cloud Code? Not body, it's body command in Cloud Code. Wow, it is slow as hell. No, I think that's my internet. It's kind of lagging. Right. All right. So, command or hide a companion in Cloud Code. There's currently no official way. For real. Multiple GitHub issues have been open, requesting disabled toggle. Companion enable set, but these have been closed as not planned or marked as duplicates. If you have already hashed the body and want to remove it, you can try deleting the companion field from cloud.json. Do I have something like that? I don't know. Cat. I'll move it real quick to another terminal because I'm not sure what it can contain. How do I open a new? Okay, I'll just do it in terminal. I don't know. Okay. Wow, there is a lot of information in here. Wow. 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 Okay, companions. Okay, I found him. Hedged add. Okay, well, he can leave for now. I don't wanna be that crucial and just delete him. So okay, let's proceed. So that's. Did I actually? Okay, I forgot to run it. So I need to switch into plan mode. Let's copy everything and let's start. So transcript can be removed essentially, but let's leave it for now. npm view. Okay, let's run it. I'm not sure. I have never seen npm view command before. Well, while I'm waiting, I want to see. Can you tell me what would be the breaking changes in TypeScript 7? I'm curious whether it is just a performance boost using Golang, or did they actually change the schema, or maybe the syntax, or anything else essentially. I like how it removed essentially from what I've been talking about. from what I said, it just removed that word. Breaking changes in upgrade. I'm curious whether it is just a performance boost using Golang, or did they actually change the syntax or anything else? Be concise. Okay. Let's see. So warp npm view nest CLI. I don't have anything installed, bro. Okay, npm view you can run. I think that's safe to run, so you don't actually annoy me. So let's do it like that. So I can npx Prisma version. I don't have Prisma installed. Okay, so up to 10x faster full builds thanks to Go's native code performance, shared memory parallelism, including multi-threaded type checking parallel project builds. Okay, that's interesting. So strict mode on by default. TypeScript enables strictness by default, which may require adjustments for projects upgraded from earlier versions. I have never had strict mode disabled. I don't understand why people would need that. I think maybe on some JavaScript projects, but that's pretty much it. Okay, LSP replaces TSR finally. Like, okay. Deprecate remove options from TS6 carry forward. Things like, okay. No compiler API for now. Okay. What's not changed? The upstream language syntax itself is identical. You write it the same TypeScript code the team has. 99.6% compatibility across 20,000 compiler test cases, which with the remaining 74 being known edge cases or intentional changes. Damn, that's crazy. So in short, same language. Okay, can you tell me how long did it take for them to, essentially, when did they started working on that version? I'm kind of curious. And okay, so web source turbo wrap, or why are you doing that? I think one of the suggestions I've seen on YouTube, I think, is that I should install context 7 like right away, so it doesn't need to kind of search that information. It just gets it from context 7, I guess. Okay, Anders Helsberg said in podcast he started prototyping in August, likely August 2024 or possibly earlier. Hold up. Do you want to allow Claude to fetch this content? Yes. Yes. Okay. So it started 4 agents, I guess. Control B to run in background. I need Control O actually. Research 2 things and it started. Oh wait, that's one. Okay, so research the letters. Yeah, so it started 1, 2, 3, 3 agents to research the information, which is the right approach, I think, and then give it back to the main agent so it doesn't clutter the context. All right, so he started in 2024 or early. The first major commit to the repo was on October 19th when Heidelberg, come on. I think that is Swedish last name. Kind of reminds me of someone. Kjellberg. Dropped an initial port of the compiler by 25 lines of Go code in a single commit. Wow, what a hero. The public announcement came on March 11, 2025. JavaScript 7 launched on January 15th, 2026. Oh wow, so it was quite recently. So from prototyping to release, it was roughly 1.5 year, and from the first real commit to launch, about 15 months. That's impressively fast for a full compiler rewrite, as the team's Ryan Kavanaugh put it. The choice was between a from scratch Rust rewrite that could take years or a Go port that could get something usable in years. So they clearly delivered on that timeline. So interesting that they didn't go with Rust actually. That's interesting. Okay, so okay, you're free to go, buddy. How much time do I have? I'll have 15 minutes. Okay. I guess nothing major I'll be able to do in this session, but at least I got started, so that's already good. And the sun can come down. I mean, behind the clouds, so people can barely see me. But overall, I'm happy with the plan. It just that thing is taking ages to set up, but overall, I'll be kind of coming up. I wanna actually. I just realized I wanna have it like a template actually, so that way I wanna. I wouldn't need to. Can I have multiple applications under same model, just changing like themes or something like that? That would be really cool. Like within this specific application, I could have multiple platforms and they all be connected somehow. That would be really cool. Okay, and finally it is planning, so that's good. Oh man, my laptop is running low on battery. I'll have to stop for a sec and then I'll come back. Right, I'm back. So it's still coming up with the plan. Our pickleback is pooping like every second, but we are making some progress, so that's good. What do you want to do? Python? I don't have Python. Yes, and don't ask again. Yes, npm view turbo. Okay, I'm not sure what Python has to do with it. Okay, okay. So it is just a waiting game at this point. Oh, so even a plan is an agent. I see. I'm kind of curious um what the context window is going to look like after it finishes with everything. Okay. All right. I'm also kind of interested in that agent first, so that way it can actually come up with different ideas. I think it might be actually different, like brand agent, so that way it actually kind of responsible for one thing at a time. Like that. Right, so we will remove brand from responsibilities of the design agent as not needed. Okay. This is so annoying. Like, why? Like, I cannot explain how annoying that is. Okay, we're still kind of struggling with that. Like, it is asking for a lot of commands, which are annoying as hell. Like, already 44. I think it's roughly around that many times it asks me to run something. Like, cannot you just check it in one command? Like, bro, why? Oh, I think that is because I asked it to provide like latest version of everything. To actually set up everything using latest version. I think that was the problem, I guess. It would be really cool to kind of have these platforms working under one umbrella. But then what's the point? Like, I don't know. I strictly believe that I strictly believe that every platform, like a dev team, it is one, like its own platform, right? But then, yeah, I think that's how I'll set it up as in the very beginning initially, and then I'll kind of have them communicate with each other somehow. I'm not sure how yet, but the main thing is to set them up and kind of work together. I don't know. So, and it is just planning like crazy. I'm not even sure how much context do I have. Let me check that. I mean, not context. How many usage do I have left? 10% already used, and it is just planning phase. I don't know, that's crazy. That's crazy. I also have $100 of extra usage. And Tropic were um, kind enough to actually give it to me. Alright, can you tell me what happened? Why did Anthropic actually allowed usage of their Cloud Code Max or Cloud Max subscription within the OpenClaw and tools like that? Essentially, I know that they dropped. I know that people were abusing Cloud Max subscription via different proxies and stuff like that. But I'm just curious what happened. Why did they do something like that? Why did they lower their usage for everyone? And does it actually mean that I can now use Cloud Max with OpenClaw? Can you tell me what happened? Why did it? Why? Okay. Why didn't Tropic actually allow usage of their Cloud? Not Cloud. I said Cloud Max subscription within OpenClaw and tools like that. I know that they. I know the people were abusing the Cloud Max subscription via different proxies, but I'm just curious what happened. Why did they do something? Why did they lower their usage? Why did they lower usage for everyone? And does it actually mean that I can now use Cloud Max with OpenClaw? Be concise. Right. I'm not familiar with OpenClaw from my training data, so let me search for what you're referring to. Well, you better do that. I'm kind of curious, like whether I can set up like context 7 somehow in that as well inside of the web version. I think I can. I just need to find a way to do that. Okay, so Tropic never allowed that people were using community built proxies like Cloud Max API proxy that route. Like, why do you even give it to me, like the full name, so that I can actually use it? That's weird. That routed OpenClaw request through the Cloud Code CLIs, piggybacking. That's interesting. On Max Pro subscription out, the proxy worked by wrapping. I hear my cat came in. The proxy worked by wrapping the Cloud Code CLI translated in OpenAI format. API requests into. I will never ask it to, like, what is happening here. I will never ask it again to install latest versions. Latest versions. It took 10 minutes to find each latest version that will be needed for every package. That is just ridiculous. Prisma should be using PostgreSQL. Cockroach. What is cockroach? Chat about this. Skip interview and plan immediately. Okay, PostgreSQL. What scope name prefix should internal packages use? I'm not sure. Actually. I don't know actually. Don't like let's start with repo. For library packages, shared DB UI, how should they be consumed by apps? Build to CJS with Next.js, simple setup, zero interrupt issues, internal packages, no build, export raw TypeScript source, Next.js uses transpile packages, Next.js uses path analysis, faster dev but more config complexity, dual CJS plus ESM. Like, this is the shit that I hate about Node.js. Like, why this question essentially shouldn't even exist. I mean, this entire initiative with CommonJS and then ESM introduction shouldn't even exist. And that's also was the reason why I created my own programming language. This is just crazy that you need to decide, and then like I really want to have internal packages, right? The second point, but at the same time I understand that that would introduce a lot of config, and would introduce a complex configs into my setup, and I want to avoid that. At the same time, I don't want to be pre-building packages and then importing them as pre-built binaries. That doesn't make sense to me. And dual CJS plus ESM has maximum compatibility. In my opinion, that's like the trickiest part, because you would have to deal with CJS inside of ESM modules and vice versa. And ESM doesn't run in CJS as far as I know, because I had so many problems with it in the past. But okay, let's go with internal packages, no build. I think build is needed if I'm going to release those packages somewhere to like npm or something like that. But let's actually read the description. So all packages built to CommonJS with TSC, more seamlessly with Nest.js and Next.js, simple setup, zero interrupt issues. Export raw TypeScript source, Next.js uses transpile packages, Next.js uses path and aliases. Path aliases. I'm not sure how is that even related. Okay. Faster dev, but more config complexity. Let's go with recommended, because I have never done this before. And if it is recommended, then probably it's me who was doing that wrong the last time. Yeah, let's go with that. Submit answers. Okay. So, why they shut it down? Entropic stated that third-party harnesses. I know this word, but I'm not sure how this connected to the rest of the sentence. But okay, harnesses put an outsized strain. Oh, harness is something that holds you back, I guess, right? Can I actually look it up? Yeah, harness is a set of straps and fittings, but okay, yeah, for a horse, okay. Put an outsized strain on its infrastructure, and that capacity needs to be protected for its own products. The core issue that third-party harnesses like OpenClaw largely bypass the caching layer. Okay. So one heavy OpenClaw session can consume dramatically more infrastructure than an equivalent Cloud Code session. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Flat rate subscription assume most users underuse them. Agents running 24/7 break that model. What happened? The change took wait, what? On April 4th? That's when I installed OpenClaw. That's funny. Cloud subscriptions no longer cover usage on third-party tools like OpenClaw. This came into ways. Wait, cover usage? Wait. No longer cover usage on third-party tools like OpenClaw. This came in two waves. First, blocking external code and harnesses in March, then OpenClaw specifically on April 4th. Did affect everyone, not directly in terms of lowered usage, but the strain from proxy abuse was reportedly affecting capacity for legitimate subscribers. Can you use Cloud Max with OpenClaw now? Not via your subscription directly. You can still use Cloud models to power OpenClaw, but you need to either opt into a pay-as-you-go extra usage bundle. Oh, I see. So pay-as-you-go, I think that is like an extra usage, right? And that's the one I had. Okay. Extra usage bundled, or use the Entropic API with per token billing. Community workarounds keep popping up, but they violate terms of service, and Entropic is actively closing them. Alright, so as usual, we don't read plan, we just create plan for the sake of having a plan, so that the model actually knows what to work on. We don't read plans, right? And we auto accept edits because we don't really care about our repository. Alright, so let me decipher what I just said. Essentially, what I said is that I don't care about the plan because the plan was created for the sake of having a plan for the model itself. We don't read plan because it is quite lengthy and it defeats the purpose of having the AI agent, but at the same time having at least some kind of plan will ensure that the agent will stick to at least something and will not come up with imaginary things. It could also produce a plan on its own when it understands that the complexity of the request is quite complex, or complexity is quite high, right? And that way, oh, you see, like we have a plan, right? But we don't read those plans because we don't care about those. We presume that it is quite accurate, and if it isn't accurate, then you gotta work with your prompts to have them more specific and not include a bunch of shit that isn't needed. Do you want to create? Allow this in this session. Okay. So while it is doing its magic, I'll let it run for some time. I need to be dropping off. But the thing that's about the plan, right? I heard people saying like the plan is really not needed, right? You don't need plans because you don't read them. But that's the thing, you need plans for the model, not for you, because you are such a good guy that you want to read that, right? That's not the reality that we live in. If you're a developer who is working in a development agency and you create a plan for your specific product requirements or technical analysis that you have prepared by your technical analyst, or like I forgot the name of this position, then yes, definitely you need to read the plan. But if you're kind of creating your own thing, kind of wipe coding, but in a way that you actually review the changes that the agent come up with, and you actually, like for example, why Slugify you saw here, like I don't like that already. This function will become stale in matter of seconds. Okay, in matter of days. Let's call it like that. Let's be more realistic. Like generate ID. Why do you have a separate function for it? Just use a package for it, right? And also, I don't already like that, right? You remember I said that there would definitely be problems with with ESM to CJS, right? So that's why I don't like that. And what I saw, which I didn't mention, is that I wanted to prompt it to actually create TypeScript config package, which I see that it probably did on its own, which makes sense, which is what I needed actually. And I'm using Opus 4.6. I'm kind of curious when I'll run out of usage because it is quite a heavy model. Right, but essentially I was wrong. It doesn't seem like Anthropic actually allowed anyone to use their Mac subscription with OpenClaw, and they explicitly banned OpenClaw, it seems like. Cloud subscribers now have to pay to use OpenClaw. AIbusiness.com. Cloud users who want to use the open source OpenClaw agent framework using their subscription will no longer be able to do so unless they are willing to pay much more. That's the key fact of a new measure introduced by cloud developer Anthropic. The change in policy made public by the creator of Cloud Code, Boris Cherny. Boris Cherny, is he? Okay, anyway. On X and in an email to subscribers took effect on April 4th. Cloud subscribers subscriptions will no longer cover usage on third-party tools like OpenClaw. You can still use these tools with your Cloud login via extra usage bundles. Oh yeah, that's what I feared. So you can use it, but via the extra usage. Now available at a discount, and I'm well aware of it. It's like 30% discount right now or something. Or with Cloud API key, Cherny posted. Oh, I actually can check the Cloud subscription will no longer recover usage on third-party tools like OpenClaw. You can still use these tools, but your Cloud login by extra usage bundles now available at a discount or with the Cloud API key. We're working hard to meet the increase in demand for Cloud, and our subscriptions were built for the usage patterns of these third-party tools. Capacity is a resource we manage thoughtfully. Okay. And we are prioritizing our customers using our products and API. Okay, so that's cool. Nico already commented on that. How much time does it take? Like 4:14, and he commented on 5:48. So it's like hour and a half was needed for him to comment. Just reminds about him on every post. What about Agents SDK? Still cool. No changes to Agents SDK this time. Working on improving clarity more. I thought this was already the case. Okay. So essentially I understood the point. So no, it's actually not like that. All right, let's see. So I'll let it finish. It's been 15 minutes already since the execution of the plan. The plan itself, planning phase, took 10 minutes. Installation is taking a minute and a half already. So I'll let it finish. I'll continue with the rest of, I think we'll start with brand agent. So essentially I'll create an actual agent, or maybe a skill rather, or maybe an agent, I don't know. And it will first of all create a brand for the service that I'm going to build, and then I'll create a design agent, and it will create a design for the service that I'm about to build, right? Okay, I'll be stopping here, and we'll continue from these points next time.